those who follow my little blog, welcome to a special kind of blog post. The whole reason of this post is to celebrate my 5 years of being on WordPress. Now, 5 years is a long time to me to have this blog, because I started this blog in 2015, and this will probably give a good maybe intro to people who are new following me here and don't know a thing about me. I haven't got around to doing celebrating 5 years being on WordPress, and I couldn't figure out what I wanted to do because most bloggers do a Q&A. I didn't want to do a Q&A. I've done a Q&A before, that was for 500 followers, that was, and that's the only time I've done any kind of celebratory thing for this blog. For 5 years, that's a big thing, you know. It's like halfway to 10, because I can see myself blogging probably for about that long. Who knows? So for this special post, finally the idea came to me. I was sitting on my bed, I think it was last month, and I stared at my anime collection and I'm like, that's it. We're gonna do a 3-part series of my entire anime collection. Now, I'm not gonna be doing my manga collection because I've got a really small collection and I want to do something separate for that entirely. So you guys are going to be seeing a 3-part series on my anime collection, which as of last year it was pretty big, but it has grown a little bit smaller since then because I've been prioritizing anime favorites and things that I'll rewatch. Maybe fun fact, I have been collecting anime for 9 years now, and it's been very, very on and off. You would think that, oh my god, you don't have like 5,000 anime. No, I am pretty picky when it comes to buying anime because at heart I'm really more of an anime watcher than a manga reader, but that is slowly changing. The manga reader in me is coming up against my anime watching now, but moreover, I would rather flick on an anime than read a manga. That's just me. So I've always wanted to show off the collection and I just never have done it on the blog. First part of this celebratory thing, I'll be showing you my top shelf. Now I've got like a middle shelf and then all the rest of my anime is kind of over in the corner there. So the middle part, or the second part of this series, that's probably going to be the long one, because I didn't want to do a whole spiel of a long video. Some people like that, but I thought some people on the blog might not like that because I don't know who actually watches these videos. I know some of you do. But anyway, so I'm going to give you a whole tour of my anime collection and I'll just be going through, like, you know, why I picked a certain show. I'll give a short spiel. I won't be so long-winded, but I could talk about my collection all day. I could. I did have my YouTube for that, but that just kind of went off in a different direction and then I gave up YouTube last September. Hopefully this video will only be about 15 to 20 minutes long, this first part. Let's hope. So, without further ado, let's get into my collection. You guys can learn a bit about my anime taste because my anime tastes since 2016 have changed a lot. This is pretty much where my collection is. I might as well show you guys my whole setup. So this is pretty much where my collection lives. You guys will be seeing this in a second, and this bottom shelf here is not going to count in this video because this is my plan to watch stuff that I need to watch. I'm slowly working my way through. I've only watched like a couple of shows, and then over here for the third and final part will be here all my mecha, and then some other stuff is there. So my collection never looked like this before. I went through a massive reshuffle last month and I'm finally happy with how it looks. And I may go through maybe at some point what all this means, but for now I'm going to be concentrating on the anime. And I'm sorry the angle is probably going to be really awkward because I'm literally holding up this without any prop or selfie stick. But I'm just gonna move some stuff so you guys can see. I'll have to display everything. Hang on, let me remove these. Okay, so first up, these are constant anime that I've rewatched over the years. First up in this collection is Inuyasha, and I finally have it. All of it in its entirety. so I have the whole thing, and then we've got the final act, and then we have finally got the movie collection. Now, Inuyasha has been a constant favorite for years. For those that don't know, I got into anime because of my old best friend at the time. She got me into anime when I moved here from England to Australia, and Inuyasha was one of the big first long-running series I ever kind of got into. And I've loved it. Like, it's gotten me on the supernatural yokai demon path, and I've loved series involving demons and such. Like, recently I just finished watching Kakayuri Bed and Breakfast for Spirits. Kind of got me on that track of things. And the series, I love it mostly for the dub. The dub is just it's everything, especially with Inuyasha and Kagome. I was just thinking about it now. Just when them two have their little banters and squabbles, it's hilarious. This is a highly recommended series. I recommend to anyone who just wants, you know, lots of action. There's a good the supernatural side of things with demons and demon world. One of the interesting things about Inuyasha, it's set in the feudal era, so there's some feudal Japan influences in here. There's a massive love triangle, which is so friggin' annoying. It's the most annoying love triangle I've ever come across in anime. I love the main villain in this. This series has one of my favourite villains. Of how much he twists and how much he messes around with Inuyasha and the main gang. And the main premise of Inuyasha, I don't know if everyone probably knows Inuyasha, but it's about a girl named Kagome. She falls down her family's shrine well, and she ends up in the feudal era, and she removes an arrow out of Inuyasha's chest. This is Inuyasha here. And he was bound to a tree for 50 years. I think it was, 50 years, because he tried to steal a thing called the Secret Jewel, which a whole bunch of demons want. And it's kind of, they start their journey because she accidentally shatters the jewel into like 1,000 pieces, and then they're joined by a monk, Moroku, and a demon slayer named Sango, and then they go on a journey to gather the shards. And it's so much, it ends up being so much more than that. It's, at times it can get a bit like creepy and stuff, particularly with the main villain. He's just so twisted, and I love it. So Inuyasha is fantastic series with demon world and feudal Japan influences. I've loved it for years, and I've wanted this in my collection for such a long time. So these two box sets here, because it's a bit like mishmash. This I bought these off eBay a long time ago. I wanted to get all the boxes so it looks pretty. The art boxes take up so much space, so I just gave up, and I eventually got the rest of the seasons in these, you know, digipack things for like $5 a piece in a sale. Oh my god, that was a save. And then I remember the day that I found out that Inuyasha was going to get a continuation, the final act. I remember me and my friend, we were so excited that we were going to get a conclusion. I wanted my Inuyasha and Kagome to happen. And it was a hyped moment for me. It was hyped. And I equally love the movies as well. Let me just, no, not from my pen. I equally love all the movies. Oh god, it just fell down. Oopsie, I just totally dropped all my movies. So I love the movies as well. They are so fun, and it's a wholesome series. It's one of those that makes me happy, makes me laugh unconditionally, and it's just a great series if you want, you know, supernatural demon Japanese influences. And it's definitely one of the stronger running series from back in the early 2000s, because Inuyasha came out, yes, the year of 2000 it did. So I was so happy that it got extended, especially final act. So consistently there is 167 episodes to get through, so you can definitely slowly binge this. And I don't know what platforms this is on. I'm pretty sure it's on Crunchyroll, and I know that it is on, I know it's on Funimation as well, but you can buy it as well. Like, they've got the complete collection because here in Australia, Mad Men came out with a complete collection of Inuyasha. It was worth, I think, about $200. I was going to get that, but then these things went on sale, these digipacks, and I'm like, nah, it's fine. I'm happy. I don't need things when it comes to collections for it to like, oh, I've got to have all the Blu-rays and all the DVDs. Like, I don't care anymore. I don't care if there's a mishmash. Well, this isn't really a mishmash, like DVD or Blu-ray wise. Really, it's art box kind of wise. So yeah, it's a bit, I don't care if my collection's a bit of a mishmash. Not lost the will to care, but it doesn't, guess, kind of matter. So yeah, that is Inuyasha. But now I thought, instead of me holding that up all the way up there, I'll come down all the way down here. The other things that were on this shelf. So a long-time favourite that people have probably seen on the blog, and if you haven't, but one of my long-standing favourites is the Full Metal Panic series. I have adored this franchise for the last 10 years. It is one of my favourites to ever rewatch. And I've had these for a long time, especially this one. You can see like the mark and all the scratches. I have at one point thought that I should rebuy this, at least the Blu-ray, but I'm gonna still keep this. I remember when I bought this, I think I watched the first volume of it and I just fell in love with this series. And I think after watching Gundam Seed Destiny, this is where I got my mecha kick back. Like fully. Gundam Seed Destiny did give me that overall kick, but this one just, yeah, it exploded for me, of mecha becoming my second favourite genre. And if you don't know what this series is about, it's about our main character Sosuke, who is kind of a military maniac, and he is sent to guard Kaname Chidori, and because she is being sought by a private organization, and Sosuke works for a anti-terrorist group called Mithril. And the first season focuses on getting Kaname out of trouble, and it kind of goes differently how it follows on in the franchise, but mostly involves these two and how Sosuke tries to integrate into normal society, which the dude thinks he can solve everything through military means. This has a great combination of comedy and action, definitely mecha action. Love, love, love it. And I was surprised that there was other adaptations of this, because the next one following on that is Full Metal Panic Fumofu. Now, when did I buy? I think I bought this in a sale a long time ago. It was only $5. Yes, $5. And Fumofu, I have talked about this too many times. This is one of my favorite comedies in anime. It is a spin-off from the first season, and it's all about Sosuke dealing with being in society and trying to live a normal high school life while guarding Chidori. It's a 13-episode series. It is freaking hilarious. They don't make comedy like this anymore. Stupid comedy. Yeah, I could be here forever talking about that. And then here we have Full Metal Panic Second Raid, which I bought this off eBay. I thought I bought the digipack, but I didn't realize I bought all the single discs. The picture that I saw completely deceived me. So Second Raid is a bit on the intense side, whereas the first season is pretty light, I would say. But yeah, this really centrals in on our characters. I have not rewatched this for a very long time. I have been meaning to, I just haven't. And then there is a fourth season in this, which is Invisible Victory, which I just don't own yet. I'm still intent to fully get it. I was so excited for when a new season of Full Metal Panic was announced, Invisible Victory, in 2018. It was a magical year during the spring season when it came out. I was so excited every year, because before that, we hadn't heard from this franchise for at least a few years, and I never thought it was going to get another adaptation, and it did. And it's just amazing of how old anime can just spring upon you just like that. Seriously, like just the other day it was announced there's going to be a Tokyo Mew Mew new anime adaptation, and it's just crazy. It's crazy of how some of the anime that I've loved for so long is still coming back, like Sailor Moon and Cardcaptor Sakura. That is a good example. So yeah, Full Metal Panic has been another long-standing run. I love the dub. I love Lucy Christian, and oh god, I think his name's David or Max, one of them. He plays Sosuke. No, sorry, it's Richard. It's Richard and Lucy. They play Sosuke and Kaname. I love that English dub duo. They are epic. So yes, Full Metal Panic is a long-running favorite, and that's why it's on that shelf, because I want to look at it and display it. So next up on that shelf was another comedy favorite, which is Midori Days. It is about a delinquent named Seiji, who wakes up one morning and he has a girl that becomes his right hand. Now, this is a very weird concept for an anime, but I promise you, it is stinking hilarious. Friggin' hilarious. And I've watched this so many times. It doesn't get old. Midori, who is our main girl, she is just the cutest thing. And the girl who voices her in the English dub, as you can tell, I'm a bit of a dub person. I like my subs, but I like my dubs equally. Midori is just a cutie bean. Absolute cutie bean. And there's no inappropriateness when it comes to him or her being Seiji's right hand, I promise you. There's not. It's just weird in the whole concept of that's it. And it's a very good romance comedy. I do want to read the manga someday, if I can still get my hands on it, but it is a good time. And I got this off of eBay. This is still in pretty good condition. I got it for a pretty good price. So I feel so lucky that I got the art box. I had not intended to get the art box, because most of the time when I buy secondhand anime, I don't intend to get an art box. If it was a good deal, then I'll get it. So this is one of few that I actually own. So if you need a good romance comedy, this is it. This is my favorite, actually, romance comedy of all time. Something could replace it, who knows. And then on the shelf is a very special favorite, which nobody talks about, this adaptation from the Fate Stay Night franchise, which is the very first one by Studio Dean from 2006. I love Fate Stay Night. I'm a huge Fate Stay Night person, but I have not seen all the anime adaptations. I've only seen Fate Zero, this one, and oh god, what's the other one? Oh, the Heavens Feel movie. I have not seen Unlimited Blade Works. All of those. I have not seen those yet. I'm just, one that's, I'll get around to it at some point. Yeah, Saber blew me away. I have a figurine of her. She was the very first figurine I ever bought. Happily sits on my computer desk. I love the whole idea of this, like a Holy Grail war, using historical figures as to fight in this war. It's a fantastic concept, and I've wanted to own this for years, but trying to find this was so hard because it was really out of print, and I finally found it on eBay. I bit the bullet and paid a bit more than I should have. I think it was about $35. But I didn't care. It was then and there, and I wanted this badly. So, I do love this franchise, and I have been meaning to see all the other different Fate series. I'm just amazed at how far the franchise has come. I remember when this first came out, and I never imagined that it would get so many adaptations as a franchise that I never expected that from. And it's just crazy of how still many adaptations are coming out of it. But it is a fantastic kind of historical-based fantasy series. I love it. I love it mainly for the action, obviously. I do. Mainly for the action, actually. I do love all the characters, but mainly the action. So this has been another long-standing favourite. So I think long-standing favourites seem to be sitting up at the top there. That's just how the collection is working right now. So yes, that is my top shelf little tour for the first section of this 5-year celebration. I will try and get around. Oh my god, my bed is so messy. I will try and get around to doing the second part at some point, but that's going to take some time, and I think I'm going to have to use one of my other cameras. I don't think my phone camera is going to last. I don't think. But look, I really hope you enjoyed the first part of this 5 years celebratory thing. I'm probably going to do the part 2 probably maybe later in the month, because there's some other stuff I would like to do for the blog and such. But I really hope you enjoyed my first little tour of my collection, and who knows what will be added to it from that time on. God, who knows. So that is it. Look forward to the next one later in the month, or possibly you'll be in start of May, possibly. And yeah, hope you enjoyed. Feel free to leave a comment, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.